What is going on? This is Ben. This is episode 17 of Colo Tolo, the podcast where we speak American English and Argentine Spanish. This is the first episode we are recording in 2022, and this is the first time Will is going to see me bald because I just shaved my hair on January 1st. So let's check his reaction. He's ready to connect, and here we go. Yes, William Guillermo.
Oh. Hola, guacho. Mira vos. ¿Todo bien?
¿Qué haces, Will? ¿Cómo andas, Will?
Bien, bien. Todo tranquilo acá. Contame, ¿cómo te va todo?
Bien, acá estoy. Estoy pelado, así que bueno,
Pelado.
ahora podés ver mi verdadera edad. Makes me look
No digas eso.
older, but anyway, it is what it is. So this is all new to you because I am bald and I'm on a brand new location. This is my basement. So welcome to my basement. And this is the first episode we are recording on 2022.
Sí, feliz año nuevo.
Feliz a me muero. Feliz a me muero es un chiste que se hacía en Buenos Aires. La gente viene de un chiste y bueno, el chiste es feliz a me muero. En vez de feliz año nuevo, feliz a me muero. Así que bueno.
Feliz año nuevo.
Ahí te enseño un trick. Y contame, ¿qué te parece la pelada? ¿Me queda como el culo? ¿Me queda más o menos? ¿Me hace más tough guy? ¿Me hace más soft guy?
Sí, te ves súper tough guy. Súper fuerte. No, la verdad es que, no sé, es algo nuevo. No es una mala cosa, es solo que, sí, casi no te reconocí. Eso es lo que quiero decir.
Pensaste que estaba mandando a un doble.
¿Quién sos vos?
Mi hermano.
¿Qué hiciste con Ben?
Con Ben. Voy a llamar al FBI.
Y es claro. Y eso te va, no sé, podés seguir con el papel de Captain Jack Sparrow. Me parece un poco más difícil.
No, porque uso la peluca, así que no hay problema.
Y peluca. Con la barba, no me acuerdo.
La Bárbara en 2 semanas ya está,
Bueno.
está larga, así que eso no afecta a Captain Jack. Así que.
¿Y es algo que vos haces cada año o es algo nuevo que estás tratando?
No, en realidad yo me fui de mi trabajo en el año 2018 para quedarme a cuidar a las nenas y desde ese entonces no me corté más el pelo, ¿no? Y fueron 4 años de dejarme mi pelo crecer. Y bueno, como vino January 1st, decidí como una de las New Year resolutions cortarme el pelo y bueno, hicimos un video con las nenas, pero bueno, filmé todo, las nenas me cortaron el pelo. Así que lo que pasa es que ese video no va a estar listo hasta marzo porque voy a tardar mucho en editarlo, ¿no? Pero bueno, filmamos toda la experiencia y bueno, eso, ¿no? Es en realidad algo que hice y que uno, cuando tenés el pelo largo, yo tenía el pelo largo cuando tenía 22 años y uno piensa mucho antes de cortarse el pelo porque es tu identidad, es parte de tu identidad y bueno, no es una decisión fácil de tomar para la mayoría de la gente y bueno, lo venía pensando ya hacía mucho tiempo y bueno, finalmente dije, bueno, January 1st es un buen día para hacerlo, vamos a hacer y lo hice y
Sí, claro,
además el pelo crece, ¿no? Crece y...
tenés razón, sí.
Sí.
Pero ahora tu apodo es Javier Mascherano, así que
Javier Mascherano, sí, sí, sí. Aldo Lape. Aldo Lape. Aldo Lape es un nombre que se usa para la gente pelada. En Argentina se le dice Aldo Lape.
Aldo
Eh,
Lape.
porque
Em,
Dolape, si lo repetís, Dolape, es
Pelado,
pelado.
como, ok. Sí, no sabía eso, pero cuando estuve en Mendoza, no sé cómo se llama su puesto, pero el, el, el tipo que trabaja con el programa como de intercambio es muy buena onda, pero también era pelado y cada vez que fuimos a un lugar, o no cada vez, pero a veces la gente le llamaba como, che, pelado, ¿qué hace? Como, es como, no es un insulto, me parece, pero
No, no,
como el apodo es, che, pelado. Y acá,
en realidad, en
si vos
realidad no es
hiciste eso acá,
claro, sí. Sí, sí, no. No, en realidad no es un insulto si la gente sabe, si la gente te conoce, ¿no? Ahora, si vos pasas por la calle a un pelado y le decís, che, pelado,
che,
eso
pelado.
no, porque es como decir fatty, right? Si tenés un amigo y le decís fatty y la gente, los amigos le dicen fatty, está bien, pero si el tipo va por la calle, un extraño le dice, che, fatty, hey, you fatty, he's not
Exacto.
gonna like it.
Eh, pero sí, el pelado. Pero
Claro.
qué bueno. ¿Cómo estuvo tu Navidad? ¿Todo bien?
Sí, mi Navidad tranquila, me quedé en casa, yo no fui a ver a la familia de mi mujer y bueno, no tenía, no estaban mis planes y no, en realidad ellos fueron, mi mujer y las nenas fueron a ver a la familia de mi mujer en Christmas Eve y después Christmas Day la pasamos juntos, así que no, tranquilo, en realidad. ¿Vos estuviste ahí con tu familia o fueron a algún lugar?
Sí, sí, la pasamos en familia acá en casa y eh, sí, como vos, súper, súper tranquilo. Solo bueno, mis abuelos, mi mamá, mi hermana, mi hermano y mi cuñada. Así que eh, sí, y un amigo mío vino para cenar en
Julián, tu amigo Julián.
Julián. No,
No. ¿Quién dará?
no, no lo conozco. Em, pero bueno, sí, todo bien y em, fue un descanso em, muy lindo porque no tuve que trabajar por una semana, así que em, sí, ahora em, estoy súper emocionado para hablar con vos de nuevo porque
Qué
pasó
suerte.
un tiempo, ¿no?
Sí, 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 no, uno extraña a la familia virtual y
Claro.
bueno,
más familiarizado.
Ayer hicimos charlitas. ¿Conocés las charlitas?
Ah, sí, y también vi un mensaje en la historia de Dustin en Instagram, como si hay algunos hablantes nativos de español, pueden como, no sé, hacen clic en el link y sí, para las charlitas. Así que, ¿cómo, cómo te fue?
No, bien, bien. Cuando puedas sumarte, están buenas. Nos cagamos de risa y bueno, aparte son de 1 hora, pero en realidad todos tenemos la sensación de que queremos hablar por 2 horas, por lo menos porque uno se queda siempre con ganas al final, ¿no?
Claro, claro.
El formato es que vos entrás y te ponen en un room con una persona nativa de inglés y una persona nativa en español. Y si hay más English speakers, por ejemplo, te ponen a mí con 2 personas en vez de con una, ¿no? Depende del número.
Claro.
Y, y bueno, después de 10 minutos, directamente te cambian a otro room, ¿no? Y no sabes quién te va a tocar, ¿no? Y bueno, no, está bueno porque ya no, uno va conociendo y bueno, tengo muy buena onda con Marcy, que Marcy es
Ah, claro.
la mamá de Rubén,
Sí, 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 sí.
así que
Los
tiene
dos.
toda la onda y nos cagamos de risa. Y después hay una chica que se llama Sam, que también Sam es amazing. No sé dónde. Estaba viviendo en México, pero ama la Argentina y ahora se quiere mudar a la Argentina. Sam, short
Claro,
him.
sí, sí, sí. Sí,
Amazing. I love her. She's amazing. And so anyway,
em,
I was looking forward to see them both. You know, Marcy and Sam. So,
bueno, no, me alegro. Em, y, y bueno, no sé si sabes, pero Sam va a estudiar en Argentina en unos meses. Em, Así que em, ella está haciendo una beca que se llama Fulbright, un Fulbright Scholarship, y no sabía, pero también es lo que hizo Rubén. Él ganó la beca y enseñó inglés en Buenos Aires. Así que es algo em, que quiero, bueno, ¿cómo decir eso? Quiero solicitar un puesto o no un puesto, pero solicitar la beca y quizás el año que viene puedo hacer investigaciones en Argentina, porque conozco a un profesor em, que es que enseña en la Universidad Nacional de Cuyo, en la provincia de Mendoza.
Mendoza.
Y sí, y también él hace investigaciones sobre la calidad del agua. Y eso es una razón em, por la cual elegí irme a Argentina, porque vi una descripción sobre su curso y, y, y bueno, quizás si sigo practicando y hago todo lo necesario para em, hacer o sea, hacer ¿cómo se dice? La solicitación, como la application. Eh, Quizás en 2023 estaré en Argentina de nuevo haciendo investigaciones con un amigo mío. Así que
No, te la
eso
van a
sí.
dar, te la van a dar. Y si necesitas any recommendation letter, if you want me to write you anything, just let me know. I'll be happy to. Anything. Any glowing recommendations, I'm happy to.
Bueno,
Anyone, just
muchas
tell me.
gracias.
I'm happy to do it.
Muy, muy amable. Eh, pero bueno, y también quiero preguntarle a Sam sobre el proceso y qué hizo ella para, no sé, ganar la beca. ¿Hay una mejor manera para decir como o conseguir la beca, ganar la beca?
Conseguir la beca.
Ok.
Oh,
Bueno,
bien, bien.
mala mía.
No, no,
Em,
bien. No, dijiste bien, dijiste bien. Conseguir.
y ¿qué más? Oh, otra cosita. em, ¿Cuándo empieza la Copa Mundial? Porque viene este año, ¿no? El
Sí, sí,
2022.
sí, sí, sí. La Copa Mundial empieza creo que el 12 de junio y termina el 15 de julio. Una cosa así, es un mes. Siempre es desde mediados de junio a mediados de julio, ese mes. The last 2 weeks of June, the first 2 weeks in July. Sí,
Bueno,
sí, sí.
¿y ya viste algo sobre las camisetas, cómo se ve o algo así?
Sí, 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 sigo a una página que te la recomiendo, que está buena, que la serie se llama Foodie Headlines, y esa, casi todos los días en mi teléfono chequeo Foodie Headlines, y, y es una página que te dice las últimas novedades y los últimos leaks de, todo lo que son camisetas y botines de fútbol, ¿no? De que están viniendo de Adidas y de Nike. Ahí te mando el URL por chat. Te recomiendo que cheques porque ahí te dice lo último, el último leak, los últimos breaking news. Ahí en esa página te dicen de todas las selecciones y equipos, ¿no? Y jugadores, si se cambian de marca, a veces se cambian de Nike a Adidas o a Puma. Y ahí vas a ver, ahora la última noticia es que están por revelar las 28 camisetas de la MLS here in the US. They are
Ok.
all Adidas. Y they're just about to leak them and release them. So that's something
Bueno,
cool. Pero no, de la selección de las selecciones nacionales, la última news que hay de Argentina específicamente es que la camiseta suplente, o sea, de away jersey, va a tener, una combinación de azul y purple. ¿Ok?
wow,
Esos dos
¿por qué?
colores. Esos dos colores. No sé, determinaron bueno, que la van a hacer azul y purple. Esa va a ser la combinación. No
Ok.
se sabe, hay diseñadores que hacen mock-ups y hay un montón de mock-ups de diseñadores jóvenes que dicen, para mí va a lucir de esa manera, usan los templates porque las empresas tienen templates que quizás usan en 2 o 3 equipos. Entonces utilizan el template y le ponen los colores, ¿no? Y bueno, está la de la selección argentina, a mí me parece que si la hacen así, va a estar muy buena, ¿no? Porque el template es... porque los templates que hicieron están muy, muy lindos, ¿no? A ver si
Así que,
encuentro.
así que no es el albiceleste, sino el albiceleste y morado.
Celeste y morado, sí, 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 sí. Eh, y no, ahí hay una de las news, te la pongo ahí. No está el mockup ahí, no lo pude encontrar tan rápido, pero tiene que estar por ahí. El link no lo estoy encontrando, pero tiene que estar seguramente. um, Ahora si lo encuentro, seguramente lo voy a encontrar y te lo mando. Ahí está, ahí encontré las predicciones. Las predicciones y la de la izquierda me gusta con las tiras azules y purples. La verdad que si la hacen así, me voy a tentar en comprar una porque es muy linda, ¿no? Pero bueno, vamos a ver qué hacen, ¿no?
Ah,
Ah, no sé si te llegó ahí el link.
sí, no, no, lo veo ahora. Sí, es lindo, pero no me hace pensar en Argentina. Es como,
Raro, raro,
pero
raro.
obviamente.
Sí, en realidad esos son mockups, pero a veces en realidad le ponen, por ejemplo, acá le ponen una raya purple y en realidad es todo azul. Estas son predicciones nada más, uno no sabe cómo va a
Claro,
lucir.
no, bueno. Em, y otra pregunta, no sé si eso va a tener sentido, pero lo pregunto igual. Am, ¿Se han asegurado un lugar en la Copa de América, los Estados Unidos? O no, no sé si eso tiene sentido, pero como, porque tenés que ganar una cantidad de partidos, ¿no? Para como asegurar un-
¿Vos decís en la Copa América o en el Mundial?
No, perdón, no Copa América. Sí, en la Copa Mundial, mala mía. Em,
Sí, 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 sí. Sí, son dos equipos de la CONCACAF. Y en estos momentos son Estados Unidos y México, ¿no? Pero bueno, las eliminatorias no están terminadas, todavía
ok,
no están clasificados en la CONCACAF, ¿no? Argentina ya está clasificada y Brasil está clasificada también.
ok, eso es estar clasificado. Em, bueno,
Faltan creo que 4 partidos de clasificatoria. Lo que pasa que, bueno, hay selecciones que generalmente las selecciones más grandes clasifican unos partidos antes, ¿no? Por ejemplo, si Argentina pierde los próximos 4 partidos, igual va al Mundial, porque matemáticamente ya está clasificada, vamos a decir, ¿no?
claro,
Eh, Así que bueno, Brasil y Argentina están clasificados y el resto no. El resto de los países todavía hay que determinar quiénes van, ¿no? Y hay 2 países más de Sudamérica y hay un quinto, un quinto que juega el repechaje, que se llama, ¿no? O sea, el que sale quinto juega con el candidato de Oceanía. Y hacen un partido, por ejemplo, ponele que es Uruguay, y Uruguay hace un partido contra Australia, y el que gana va al Mundial, vamos a decir, ¿no? Eso se llama partido repechaje. Lo que me parece medio tonto, porque en realidad a Oceanía le tendrían que dar una plaza, no matter what. No le
claro,
tendrían que dar repechaje, pero bueno, es así.
ok. Em, y como siempre, tengo una lista de dudas, así que si estás listo,
Sí, sí.
ok. Em,
No, dale gas, dale gas.
la primera pregunta, bueno, estaba mirando una serie, como siempre, y escuché la frase, a mí me vendría bien hacer algo de ejercicio. Y no sé, para mí, a mí me vendría, es como una manera interesante para expresar ese sentimiento. em, bueno, no es algo que yo diría, y no sé si es una manera común para decir como a mí me y venir, como el verbo venir, o eso solo es como em, algo que dijo esa persona, pero no es común.
Sí, 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 no, está bueno usarlo. Yo, por ejemplo, podría utilizar esa frase, decir, a mí me vendría bien bajar unos kilos, por ejemplo, ¿no? Es una
Okay,
frase bien argentina. A mí me vendría bien bajar unos kilos. Basically, what you're saying is like it will be great for me if I can chop 5 pounds, something like, kind of like
okay,
that. It would be, right? Vendría es would.
sí, bueno, a mí me vendría bien y algo. eh, ok, sí, fue la primera vez que lo escuché, o sea, la primera vez que me di cuenta de que em, eso fue lo que estaban diciendo, pero Ok, a mí me vendría bien. ¿Qué más? Em, ¿Dónde está? Oh, otra frase. Yo voy a ir arrancando. A veces escucho voy a ir yendo y eso me parece chistoso porque es el verbo ir 3 veces. Em,
Ajá.
Me voy a ir yendo. Hay una diferencia entre me voy a ir yendo y me voy a ir arrancando. Em, y
Sí, en realidad me voy a ir yendo, es correcto, pero me voy a ir arrancando no es correcto. Lo que es correcto es voy a ir arrancando. En la segunda frase no tenés que usar el me. Me voy a ir.
ok, sí, eso fue la culpa mía, porque escribí yo voy a ir arrancando. Ok,
Ah, bueno,
así que me voy a ir yendo o yo voy a ir arrancando. Eh,
déjame
bueno,
que lo ponga por primera vez en 2022. Argentinólogo. Argentinólogo. So, anyway,
volvió.
volvió el argentinólogo. Así que, ah, sí, no, voy a ir arrancando. Arrancando, you know where that's coming from, right? Like turning on your car.
Claro,
Arrancar el auto, vamos a decir, ¿no?
sí, sí, sí. Em,
So,
sí,
you're
también me
getting.
parece, siempre hay un montón de frases como, por qué dijeron esa cosa? O algo así, porque nunca es algo que yo pensaría decir, pero bueno, así que a veces no sé si es algo común y yo debería incluirlo o si es, no sé, algo de slang o no es tan común. Así que,
Sí, voy a ir arrancando es una frase que se usa, la puedes usar a la mañana cuando te levantás y estás con tu novia o con un amigo y te dice, che, Will, nos tenemos que ir en 15 minutos. Y vos decís, ok, voy a ir arrancando, meaning you're gonna go brush your teeth really quick and get a coffee and then, voy a ir arrancando. You're warming up to actually go,
claro, ok. Em, bueno, y la tercera frase es, o no es una frase, sino una expresión, em, ponerse la 10.
Ponerse.
Así que como me pongo la 10. Y creo que, si no me equivoco, significa como alguien va a hacer su mejor esfuerzo o como em, intentar hacer algo con todo lo posible, si eso tiene sentido. Em, pero contame, sí.
Sí, sí,
No.
sí. Lo que pasa es que la etimología de esa frase, argentinólogo, ¿viene de dónde? Viene de dónde.
Otra vez, otra vez.
Si vos lo pensás, de dónde viene, te doy un clue.
Ok, sí, y eso es lo que pensé, porque es la 10 y
La,
creo que,
la
eh,
camiseta número 10.
sí, 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 porque creo que el número solo
Ta.
es
Sí,
masculino.
la camiseta número 10 está asociada en el fútbol, en todos los países del mundo que juegan al fútbol como deporte principal, como el mejor jugador del equipo. Y por eso Pelé usó el número 10, Maradona usó el número 10, Messi usó el número 10, Agüero usaba el número 10 en el Manchester City. Y bueno, te puedo nombrar mil otros jugadores. Neymar usa el número 10 en Brasil. El 10 es el mejor jugador del fútbol, vamos a decir. Y generalmente los 10 son capitanes también, ¿no? El número 10 es muchas veces, no siempre, pero muchas veces es el capitán. Y bueno, así que ponerse la 10 es decir, me voy a hacer cargo. I'm gonna take the lead, I'm gonna be responsible, and I'm gonna do my best because I am the best, and you know what I mean, kind of. So.
Ok. Em, sí, y eso es otra razón por la cual te pregunté sobre D10. Te, te pusiste la 10, ¿eh?
Puse la 10 para hacerlo mi mejor esfuerzo acá con mi amigo Will.
Em, pero sí, porque también escuché como D10 y no sabía si como ponerse la 10 y D10 son similares
Sí,
o no
de
tienen nada que
10,
ver.
de 10 es distinto, es un contexto distinto en el sentido que sí, como vos decías, de 10 significa, you know, 10 out of 10, right? It's like,
Claro.
de 10, oh, that car is 10 out of 10. Está de 10, ese auto está de 10 porque, o cualquier cosa, esa torta, o ese asado está de 10, boludo, porque no sabe que ese asado está de 10. No, buenísimo, buenísimo. Así que, sí.
Bueno, y dame 10 segundos porque no puedo leer mis apuntes. Así que we cut this part out. Perdón. Em,
I'm
claro.
checking my
¿Cómo,
boldness.
cómo me, ok. Em, también es una cosa que vi en la historia de Dustin en Instagram, pero él subió como una pregunta a la gente si se dice lindo quilombo o quilombo lindo. Y después hablé con él y él me dijo em, que hay hay un significado distinto en cada uno, que creo que un quilombo lindo es algo em, que obviamente es un quilombo, pero bueno, es algo que te pasa bien o es algo que te gusta quizás. Y un lindo quilombo es como algo más pequeño, como no es eh, tan fuerte o tan, no sé cuál es la palabra que busco, pero bueno, sería mejor si, si me lo explicas, porque la verdad es que no estoy súper seguro en cuál es la diferencia o si hay una diferencia.
En realidad, lo que yo entiendo, que vamos a decir mi entendimiento sobre el tema es que puedo estar equivocado, pero mi entendimiento del tema es que un quilombo lindo es algo que vos hiciste que está fuera de la ley o no fuera de la ley, pero es algo que está visto, que quizás no está visto con buenos ojos, pero que es lindo, vamos a decir. Por ejemplo, si tuviste, no fuiste a trabajar porque pasaste una noche fantástica con tu novia, vamos a decir, ¿no? Te,
Ok.
te doy te doy un ejemplo, ¿no? Hiciste algo que no debías hacer, que es no ir al trabajo, faltaste al trabajo, vamos a decir. Es un quilombo, pero fue un quilombo lindo porque no es que no fuiste al trabajo porque estabas enfermo o porque te metieron preso, sino porque es una linda razón por la cual, ¿me entendés? O sea, si
Claro,
bien
no, sí, 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 sí.
hiciste algo
Eh,
incorrecto, pero la razón es una linda razón, vamos a decir, ¿no? Puede ser pasar la noche con tu novia o puede ser, no sé, qué sé yo, te ganaste la lotería y tuviste que ir a cobrarla, vamos a decir, ¿no? No sé, algo bueno, vamos a decir, algo bueno, algo lindo, algo positivo, vamos a decir, ¿no?
Sí, sí.
Es un quilombo lindo. Y un lindo quilombo es más, es un contexto negativo en el sentido de que es un lindo quilombo, también se puede decir flor de quilombo o alto quilombo, ¿no? Argentinólogo. Pero sí, lindo quilombo, alto quilombo, ah, son, vamos a decir, sinónimos en el sentido donde el problema, el quilombo es importante, vamos a decir, ¿no? Es
Bueno,
importante.
ok. Gracias. Sí, porque no sé si has escuchado la canción de Dustin que se llama Argentina, pero en esa canción él dice, el quilombo lindo a vos te brindo, algo más, pero eso fue la primera vez que escuché quilombo lindo y,
Ah,
y bueno, y no sabía si lindo quilombo y quilombo lindo son lo mismo. Em, pero bueno, eso es todo lo que tengo hoy en español, así que no me voy. Yo voy a ir arrancando a la parte de esta clase donde hablamos inglés. Si esto te parece.
sí, por supuesto, cuando quieras.
Ok, bueno. Así que 3, 2, 1. um,
That's a count.
that,
That's a count.
that that's really interesting. I just going back to what we just talked about real quick, the idea of lindo quilombo and quilombo lindo being different. Um,
Right.
just because I can't think of an example in English where like
Uh,
changing the adjective like makes the whole changing where the adjective is makes the meaning different. But I'll have to think about it.
yeah, I was thinking like a pretty big mess, or or a pretty big mess, or a messy pretty. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't think.
right.
So, so
um,
anyway, I was wondering if you have you noticed my new name?
oh no, I didn't. Look at that. Bald James Bald. Very clever. Funny
So
guy.
I was wondering, see if Will notices my new name.
That's so funny. No, I didn't until you pointed it out. Um, did I tell you the? Well, hold on. Let's click on that real quick. Do you like James Bond? Have you seen the movie?
You know,
Just know the line.
I'm pretty neutral about James Bond. I just thought that, you know, I used this name on my first class with Dustin and Ruben, that they saw me bald for the first time. So what happens, I know what was going to happen because they need to accept me. They need to let me in. So I was taking a chance because if they say, who the F is this guy? And, you know, it could be somebody who knows, and maybe he typed the wrong number and it's coming from who knows where. And
Right.
but they say, well, I mean, this is a pretty private Zoom meeting, so yeah, we're gonna let him in. So what I did is, like, when you go in, you then need to click on start video. So I didn't start the video for a few seconds. So here's the class with all the faces, and in the middle, James Ball, and they were like, you know, like, they were like, and then I clicked on start video. So then I came and I was like, it's like, oh my God. People were like, oh my God, Ben, is that you? Oh. So they were like blown away to see me. And a couple of the girls on the meeting, they were like, you know, like, probably I looked so ugly that they were like even
Oh no.
offended to see such an ugly man, because they were like, Yes.
Uh,
And it was funny. They were saying, yeah, when we were waiting in the waiting room, we saw bald James. Who's this bald guy? Dustin was saying, who's this bald guy?
that's
Should
so
we
funny.
let him
And they
in?
let you in.
So
And do you think like other people in the class understood the joke of bald, James Bald? Did you explain
yeah,
it?
I think so, because then I say, yeah, my name is Bald, James Bald, 007. So I don't know if they were able to hear me, but
Right.
they Ruben and Dustin got it. And so then when we did Charlitas yesterday, I did change my name there. And my name yesterday was Pelado Jaime Pelado, because that's a translation of bald es pelado, y James es Jaime.
Yeah, right. Jaime Pelado. But it also sounds like kind of like half English, half Spanish, like Jaime, like I'm a pelado. Like I'm a bald. Jaime Pelado.
And
And
I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I don't know. I think they had fun too. And I thought, to make the joke with you, Bald, James Bald.
oh, it's great. And I really like James Bond too, so
Oh,
it's
you do? Okay,
even
okay.
better. And when you
I
grow
like
your hair back,
I like him too. It's just I don't know much about the movies, but I
oh, that's
I
fine.
like him.
Well, when you grow your hair back too, you can dye it red, and then we'll be Colo y Colo.
Colo Colo. Colo Colo. Did you know that Colo Colo is a very important soccer team in Chile?
Oh, really? Never mind then. We don't need Chile. Sorry
Huge.
to any Chileno. Chileno might be listening. No, it's really, I didn't know that. Colo Colo. And then I think we've talked about this, but sometimes I'll change mine to Willy Colorado, which
Really Colorado.
isn't
I
as
see.
clever as yours, but the goalie, Willy Caballero, who was played for Argentina.
Right.
I just thought that was a funny, because I'd never seen an Argentine person with the name
Willy.
go by Willy.
Right.
So I just thought it was as close as I could get to Willy Caballero and be Willy Colorado.
I look like Willy Caballero now because all like me.
So funny. All right. Well, I don't know if there's other things you want to catch up on, but I came up with a few things I kind of want to see if you know what they mean or test you on. But I got to say, it's getting harder and harder because I feel like you know so much. It's like I probably already knows this. I've heard him use this before, so it's not something he would know.
Yeah, I wanted to say something before when we were in the first half of the meeting, but I know you know this. I'm just saying this in case somebody else is watching this show. But there is no better way, in my opinion and in my experience, to learn a foreign language than to live in that country. There's just no better way. So again, I know you know this. I'm just saying, if somebody else is watching this, there is so much you can learn without being in that country, and you will learn for sure. But it's going to take you longer, just because what happens is, like, when you stop the class, then you go back to your native language for 20 hours or for 14 hours, whatever. So yes, you will learn. It's just you're gonna learn naturally. You're gonna learn slower. It's like going to the gym 3 times a week, or just live in the gym. So like Arnold Schwarzenegger, our friend Arnold, he used to live in the gym basically. And that's why he became what he became. So if you will go to next year, happen to go to Argentina, you will exponentially learn a lot more. So.
¿Qué me estás diciendo? ¿Que no hablo bien el español?
No,
Okay.
no. You speak.
Pelado.
Este pelado botón.
No, I know what you mean. I will say though, I totally agree. And I hope you feel the same way about this. There's been a lot of days. Maybe tonight wasn't necessarily my best showing, just because it's the end of a long week. But there's been a couple of days in the past few weeks where I'm speaking Spanish, either with Dustin or Ruben or some of my friends in Argentina, and like I just felt like I don't know if you know this expression, like you know, clicking or running on all cylinders. You know, like just everything was just going right. Like just doing that good, you know, good hand gestures and good stuff. It just felt awesome. So um, it was a cool. It's been good because like after a year of really trying to focus on getting better and spending more time and talking with genios like yourself. It's
No, you're doing,
it's always rewarding to see progress. You know, like even though there's so many things I want to do better, and there's so many times I'll say something and then like in my head be like, oh, like that's you pronounce that like a gringo or whatever.
no,
You know,
you're doing really well. You're doing really well. It's just the other reason why I'm saying this is because if somebody else is watching this and they listen to me and they say, "Oh, Ben, he speaks really great English," and I think my English is really good. I'm not speaking like a native yet, but I think it's pretty good, and it's because people who are watching this and don't know my story. I've been in the USA for 18 years, and I live in New London, New Hampshire, where nobody speaks English. My wife is a born and raised American. She doesn't speak any Spanish, and I have two daughters. They were born and raised in the United States. So I basically have no choice other than speaking English, and that's why my English is really good. Again, I'm not speaking like a native yet, but I just want to illustrate to somebody watching this is like it's not because I'm just taking classes. It's because I live in this country in the United States, and like I said, it's 24 hours training, and that's why exponential. And I'm also taking classes with Dustin and Ruben, and which they also help me, and they've been perfecting my English. But yeah, so if you can't do that, that's fine. You will still learn, and you will learn as a native. It's just gonna natural take you longer, unless some people are like really blessed. Not my case, but somebody like Ruben or Dustin, just they have something that
well, they also both lived in Argentina for like Dustin lived there for
exactly
8 years, so that proves
right,
your
right.
point. I don't know. I don't remember how long Ruben was there for, but
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, I think Ruben.
my total's 5 months, so I gotta get back there.
Yeah, but yeah, so Dustin lived 8 years in Argentina and Ruben 6. That's my understanding that Ruben lived in Buenos Aires for 6 years. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about the numbers, but that's what I remember. But they lived there for a long time, and
So lucky.
yes.
And
But no, and what else? I was going to tell you something, and I forgot. Um, boy, I forgot. Anyway, um, oh, I know what I was going to ask you. So, what do you? Just curious because I don't know. I don't know the answer to this question. I'm just curious from I don't know from where is my curiosity is coming from. But so, what do you typically do on a week? Do you actually do the classes with everybody with your group, or no, you just meet with Dustin one week and the next week with Ruben? How do you? Because
yeah,
I don't know how and I don't know, I have no idea.
right. Yeah, so I'll tell a little bit of a story, but I will answer your question. So um, last year, right before Christmas, or I guess right after Thanksgiving, when they had Black Friday, I saw a sale for joining Dustin and Ruben's like group class. If you bought the year membership, it was like a Black Friday sale. So I did that. So that was like, um, every Tuesday, the group class. Um, and then there were certain things that I felt like I really wanted like one-on-one work with, that I wasn't getting in the group class. No reflection on that, just obviously everyone's different, so there were things that like I really wanted to focus on. So I also signed up for um, private lessons with them. So it was usually um, like I would meet with one of them on Monday and then have the group class Tuesday, and then the next week it'd be like if it was Dustin on Monday, group class Tuesday, the next week Ruben Monday, group class Tuesday, or something like that. And then a few weeks ago, my year subscription in the class ran out. And for the time being, I haven't renewed it. So I haven't been in group classes for a few weeks. I've just done the one-on-one coaching. I might go back to the group classes because I do miss them. But it's also nice to open up another night of the week for me to work on other things. Not that I don't love Spanish, but it's nice because there were some weeks where it was like, sometimes I would talk to Dustin and Ruben, like both of them on the same week if like schedules got switched. So it'd be like Dustin Monday, group class Tuesday, Ruben Wednesday, one of my friends from Argentina Thursday, and then you Friday. It was just like, which is great. I mean, that's like really good practice. But this is kind of nice. So long-winded answer. I apologize.
That's fine.
But yeah, so I meet with them. I meet with one of them once a week for an hour.
So currently you meet with them once a week with one of them, and then do you do anything else? I mean, you talk to me once every 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, and do you do anything else or just that's it? Currently,
with Spanish, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, one of the other things, part of the reason I've also opened up Tuesday night is I'm learning French, but in Spanish, which has been very, very interesting. So I found a teacher who's porteña, but she lived in France. So I'm learning French in Spanish, which is a really fun challenge. But it's also really difficult because you got to learn, all new sounds and words and stuff. But it's really good, not only because I'm also practicing Argentine Spanish with her, but it kind of makes me relearn things in Spanish that I may not have thought about in a long time, if that makes sense. So those are that's sort of my practice schedule right now. And then obviously every once in a while I talk with family or friends from my host family or friends from Argentina. So I don't, in terms of like times per week speaking Spanish, probably an average of about 3. So like you said, going to the gym 3 days a week.
Right. So, right. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's great. It's better than most people. So that's you're ahead of most people, which is good. Which is
so much to learn. So.
Yes. So I'm gonna ask you a question because I want to ask this question in our class and spend like 2 or 3 weeks. I never had the time to ask the question, but since you're here, I'll ask you. I may still ask the question in the class just because I think it's fun for my other classmates to learn this. But I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to ask you not to Google the answer because I didn't Google the answer. I say I don't want to Google the answer. I asked my wife, she doesn't know, and I asked her, don't Google the answer. But again, the question is, we have a phrase that we use all the time in our household, and we don't know where this phrase came from. So what we don't know is like if this is something that is used in the United States or if something that we created and we started to use in our family and we think is something, that other people use, but maybe nobody else is used. So anyway, there's an expression we use at home, which is, you are so full of fluff. So we're not saying you're so full of shit, but we say we are so full of fluff. Stop being, and I use that phrase all the time with my wife and with my girls. Like, look, you're so full of fluff, Hazel. Don't say that, So it's there's nothing wrong with it. I just there's no curse word. And that's probably one of the reasons why we started to use the phrase, because around the girls, we don't want to curse. And So my question is like, is that something that you have you ever heard that from somebody else, or no? This is something completely new, and so that's the question.
Yeah. You're so full of fluff is something that I've not heard before. I'm trying to think if there's anything similar. Um, it's pretty unique, but I like it because it is sort of like, it's obviously you're not cursing, but you can kind of get your point across of like you're so
Right.
full of fluff. Like, um, so yeah, the only thing I can kind of think of using fluff like that is like sometimes you might say someone like really fluffed up like a story, or
Oh, okay.
like they kind of like filled it with stuff. You know what I mean? Like when you take a pillow after you slept on it, you kind of like get it back
Right.
to fill up. Or yeah, that'd be the only thing I can think of. But no, I think that's a Tolosa special.
Okay. So, and the second part of the question is like, what does fluff means?
Okay.
And
Um,
I want to know what you say.
yeah. So there's a couple things. So fluff. Um, I mean, it comes from the adjective fluffy, which sort of means that something is like, um, wow, this is tough to describe, but something that's fluffy is like soft, and um, you might describe like your pillow as fluffy. It's kind of like it's not hard. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a blanket where it's or like a. Actually, I have a towel right here. Like I wouldn't say this blanket is fluffy because it's kind of like flat, but like my pillow is fluffy because it kind of has like filling in it, or it has fluff in it, I guess you could say. Um, so yeah, it was without googling, but that would be my answer. So if something is fluffy, it has fluff to it. That's sort of just like a texture or a characteristic of it.
Uh-huh.
But that's pretty funny. Also, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the food called fluff, um, but it's like um, it comes in like a jar, like peanut butter, but it's basically like marshmallows, but not like individual marshmallows. It's like a cream. Um, and sometimes, like as a kid, if you were, we were really good. Instead of having a peanut butter and jelly, we'd have what was called a peanut butter and fluff, which is peanut butter and then this like marshmallow, all sugar, but really good.
Look at this.
Oh, I I thought you were saying that whatever I just said like completely missed you. You didn't understand it, but there it is. This episode is brought to you by Fluff. we are not we are not associated.
So
Uh,
that's why I had this on, because I wanted to ask it on my class, and I kept it on my computer there on the top of my computer. So that's why I wanted to. That was
I
the kind of I was going to show you this and say the expression comes from this, because I don't
oh
know.
yeah, that stuff. Part of my blood is probably made of fluff because we had that a lot as a kid. Um, the my guess is that is like very estadounidense. Like I don't know, maybe Canada also, but I don't think it's a big thing. But I could be wrong. But that's probably the equivalent of like our dulce de leche, kind of like but maybe not even as common as that. Like I feel like everyone in Argentina knows dulce de leche, but I'm not sure everyone in the U.S. knows fluff. So
Yeah, I'm so
you
full of
just you,
fluff,
you just rub a little bit in, and your hair will grow back in no time.
right?
A little
So
little fluff.
yeah, so that's I
So
think that answered my question, answers my question.
but that helps though too, because if you know what that stuff is, like that stuff can also be fluffy. Like so I was talking about like a pillow or something, but like
Yeah,
sometimes you might see, if you watch a baking show, they'll talk about like, or with cake, like whisk it
yeah.
until it's fluffy. Like it kind of starts to get that like
This is
caramel.
a parent trick. This is a parent hack. So what I do with my 4 years old, I give her a big spoon of fluff, and she watches TV for an hour, and she goes, and she's so happy, and
Oh,
I can do things, and she's like, for an hour. So that's a hack if you're a parent. Give
Yeah,
your
right.
children fluff. Give them
Oh, it's so good.
not a lot of fluff, but give them
Right,
fluff
because it's
once in a
pure
while.
sugar, but
Right.
that's why kids love it. So good.
So, I love it too. I love it too.
And have you had it with peanut butter, like on a sandwich, peanut butter and fluff?
I have not tried it with peanut butter. I just tried it like by the spoon, and I love it. It's so good. It's just like you said, it's like pure sugar. It's the same thing as dulce de leche. I love dulce de leche, but I can't eat dulce de leche every day by the spoon because I'll balloon, right? I'll be Big Ben. So yeah.
Then you could say, a mí me vendría bien
A mí me
dejar unos,
vendría bien
yeah, pesos.
recortar unos
Ajá.
kilos.
Unos kilos, yeah. Pesos. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, peanut butter and fluff sandwich really, that's like as gringo as it gets.
Let me ask you another question about that. Have you tried almond batter and fluff?
No, I have not.
Because I love almond butter. Peanut butter, I like it too, but I much prefer almond butter. So I wonder if like
It's probably very similar. I don't know if I've ever had almond butter. So I don't really know what almond butter is like, because peanut butter is so. I could see like if it wasn't something you had as a kid a lot, and then coming to the U.S., it's sort of an odd taste. But here,
So
like,
how do you mix them together and you eat them by the spoon, or you put them on a cookie, or how do you consume
so
it?
just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, like 2 slices of bread.
Okay,
You put
bread.
butter over.
Okay.
So just instead of jelly, you put fluff.
Okay.
I do remember though, as a kid.
I will try.
Yeah. Let me know. I do remember as a kid, obviously, because you love the sugar. There was a time where I asked, could I have a jelly and fluff sandwich? Which now, like, I never had it. My mom was like, no, that's nothing but sugar. At least peanut butter has like some protein in it. But the the thought of a jelly and fluff sandwich is like, ugh, that's just too much sugar. So don't do that.
Did you have them? Did you try them?
No, my parents never.
Wouldn't allow you.
Right, I would have been like bouncing off the walls with sugar energy.
I wonder how it'll taste a sandwich with fluff and dulce de leche.
Wow, it's like, yeah,
We're gonna try that. Look, that's the Colo Tolo sandwich.
that's it. Yeah,
The official Colo Tolo sandwich.
Half Argentine, half I don't want to
American.
American. There you go.
We have to make it the official Colo Tolo sandwich. There you go.
Okay, yeah. That's so funny. You actually know what fluff is, because I was like, should I tell him about it? Because if he doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's going to sound really weird. Like, what do you mean fluff marshmallow? But not put it on a sandwich. But yeah, fluff. There you go. So you're so full of fluff.
I'm so full of fluff. And my girls love fluff. Oh my god, they just
So they are full of it.
they're full of fluff. Yes. And the little one loves marshmallows. So she asks me for marshmallows all the time. So
Do you make s'mores?
I have not, but I love them. My wife makes them because she loves them.
Yeah.
She makes them. She's the one who makes them for us, and I love them.
I feel like again, that's just a very U.S. thing. Again, sorry, Canada. Maybe maybe you guys do it too. I imagine they do it as well. But yeah, just the idea of chocolate, a marshmallow, and some graham crackers is, I don't know, it's kind of a funny combination. But anyway, to answer your question, that's the first time I've heard you're so full of fluff.
Yeah, full of fluff. Yes. And I was going to tell you something else in related to that. I know what it's going to. Another thing I wanted to share with you. I don't know if I did share this with you before. I think I told you this before I got this, but something we purchased in our household is an uni pizza oven.
Yeah, I think maybe you just were starting to tell me about it, and an uni pizza oven.
Yeah,
But
so
how
we
is
got
it?
that oven and we loved it. We absolutely love it. And so, but do you know what do you know what those are? So
I have a rough idea. There you go. That's
yeah,
the American English R for you. A rough idea.
roughly. Yeah, so basically, it's a propane fueled little oven that is 16 inches. You can make big pizzas that are as big as 16 inches. It's basically like a barbecue oven that instead of making, barbecues, you make pizzas. And so it heats up to 900
Wow.
degrees Fahrenheit. And so basically, you drop your pizza in, and it takes 60 seconds for your pizza to cook. So that's called
60 seconds.
6 seconds. Yes, it's called
Wow.
the Neapolitan style pizza, and you make it with any kind of dough, but traditionally you make it with double O flour, which is a more refined type of flour, and it's the flour they use in Italy and Naples in Italy,
Yeah.
and it's very popular. So the uni ovens became really popular in the United States in the last year. There's a lot of people. There are like Reddit groups and Facebook groups about uni ovens. So they became very popular, and they're great. They're great. I love them. Love them. The pizzas are the best pizzas we've ever had. They come out of that oven. It's just amazing. They're
That's so cool.
crunchy and soft inside. And oh, if you ever
Like,
come visit me, I'll make you some
well,
pizza.
a fugaceta.
Yes, right, right.
I still want to try one of those. I never had one. But
Yes, you will.
what else was I gonna say? Oh, and yeah, if you ever come down and visit in New Jersey, there's one thing I take pride in my state. It's we have really good pizza because there's a lot of Italian influence in New Jersey.
All right.
So it's like there's good pizza in a lot of places, but every time I come home, it's like we need to get pizza because I miss it. Like when I come home from when I was like in Vermont, or not every day when I get home from work or something. Otherwise, yeah.
So is it because something I read years ago about the New York style pizza, and
Yeah.
that there is no pizza that tastes like the New York pizza if you buy it in New York City. You have to buy it there. So what I read is like the difference why it tastes so from New York is because the dough is made out of the water they have in Manhattan or New York, and that water comes from the Hudson River, and that's why that dough has this very distinct. So is that the same thing in New Jersey or not really?
Well, it's funny you say that because I've heard people say that always sort of jokingly, of like maybe it's because we have bad water and like there's metal in the water, so that it makes bread taste good or something, or the dough taste good. Um, I don't know. I don't I don't I don't know if that's actually the reason. I always think it's just because there's a lot of Italian families, and so like people have just been making the pizza for a long time, like they know the secrets. But it could very well be that the water is contaminated because the Hudson River is like not
Well, right, right, right.
not great.
Well,
So
so yeah, well, what I read, I think that I didn't explain myself correctly, but it's not that people go and actually take water. But
right, yeah,
water
yeah, yeah.
goes
Where
through
it's
the
coming from.
filtration system, like whatever they use in the city from the
Yeah,
so yeah. Not that they actually go take water from.
right, yeah, because that would be yeah, you
Disgusting.
would you'd feel that in the stomach. The second you eat it, you'd be like, oh.
So, and another question about your pizza in New Jersey. So do you mean that you go to a Domino's pizza and tastes different than the Domino's in New Hampshire? Or no, you go like to specific kind of pizzerias that you know that, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
second one. So I'm sure Domino's is probably the same everywhere. But there's a lot of like, we call it, this is a good expression for you, mom and pop. Have you ever heard that before?
Mom and pop
Yeah.
shops.
So a lot of mom and pop pizza joints. I don't know why it's joints sometimes, but pizza shops is fine too. Yeah. Where it's just like my favorite one is a place called Verami, and it's like the guy, like Mr. Verami, is always in there making pizza, and he's just like an Italian guy that is just like, here's your pizza. You're like, thanks. Like, it's so good, so good. And I wonder, like, maybe if someone from Italy came over and they'd be like, this is not how we make pizza in Italy. I'd be like, doesn't matter. Well, I'll keep eating this stuff. But yeah, Mr. Verami, if you ever hear this someday, somehow,
is it like legally a sanitary joint, or like say Mr. Verami goes on the back of his yard, he does his plants and all the dirt under his nails, and then that's the dough, and that's why it tastes, because toda la mugre que tiene los dedos.
Yep. Sacaste la ficha, eh.
Sacaste la ficha. Le sacaste la ficha.
Le sacaste la ficha. So close. Yeah.
I mean, is he the one doing the doughs, or he's just like baking the pizza? That pizza.
I don't know if they make. I would imagine they make their own dough. It's always fresh. So.
Right.
I mean, it's a store. It's not like it's a guy's house, but like the store is just called Verami's, and Mr. Verami is there a lot.
I imagine if you do like a lab test on those doughs, how much of Mr. Verami's DNA is on those doughs? He said,
"Don't ruin it for me."
Morning, that stuff.
You know the expression.
All his dandruff on.
You know the expression, "Ignorance is bliss."
Right.
Yeah.
It tastes delicious. It tastes delicious.
Close your eyes and eat it. Chew. Yeah, but that's so funny.
Right.
All right. Well, I did have a few things I wanted to run by you. That's a good expression in by itself.
Go.
To run by someone is to like to give to kind of put an idea out. Let me run this by you.
Yes.
Okay, so you already got that one. All right, so the first one is just a word, and again, it's not super common, but you might hear it thrown around. So we'll say, do you know what the word bedlam means?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Bedlam. I can write it in the chat.
Bedlam. Bedlam. Let's see the chat here. Bedlam. Of course, I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. So again, this is one that I heard. I've heard in different uses, but I just heard it the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm writing that one down." So bedlam is like pure chaos. I guess in some ways it could kind of be like quilombo. Like there's just like it's pure bedlam. And so like the two ways that the two ways I hear it is like if you were to go to the grocery store the day before like Christmas or Thanksgiving when everyone's trying to buy food, like you might come back and be like, oh, it was absolute bedlam there. So it's like describing a situation as something is bedlam.
Is it related to the word bloodbath or not?
I'm not sure. What's the word?
Bloodbath. Like blood.
Oh, a bloodbath. Yeah, a bloodbath is like I wouldn't say they're related. So like a bloodbath would be something like
after the fight, there's all blood
right.
on the floor.
Yeah, like that was a total bloodbath. Or Yeah, just anything that, like, even it doesn't have to actually be blood, but like if you were playing soccer or football with your friends, and someone took a dirty tackle, or tripped you or something, like, and it got aggressive, it'd be like, oh yeah, it was a total bloodbath. Like, it was just, that was intense. But I wouldn't. But that actually is a good point, because the other way I just heard it, and that was part of the reason I wrote it down for you, is I was watching World Cup highlights from 2018, and it was a commentator from England, and Colombia scored to make it 3-0, and he was like, "It is complete bedlam," because like the fans were just like going nuts. So I just thought it's a fun adjective, and it kind of like, it's just more powerful than saying like, oh, and they went crazy, or it was, there was a lot of people and it was chaos. Like, bedlam is just sort of a fun way to make it, like, it was un quilombo. That's like, I guess that's probably the best I can, like, just pure chaos. So that's the first word, bedlam. I don't know how much you'll be able to use it, other than if you go, maybe you go to buy some fluff before the holiday break and everyone's fighting over the last one, and be like, it was that. You could also say it was a bloodbath.
That's
I
a
hope
good
not.
one. I have no idea what it meant, so thank you. I learned
Yeah,
something.
bedlam. So yeah, basically anytime you watch like Argentina score and they show the fan, you just say, total bedlam. Like, all right. The next one, to be on cloud nine.
To be on cloud nine. Boy, to be on cloud nine, I heard that before. I think I heard that before. It sounds familiar to me, but I'm not really sure what it means. I can guess, but to be like so happy, but I don't know. I have no idea. I remember I heard that before, but it's not something I ever used myself, for example. So no.
Yeah, it's just sort of an interesting way of saying that someone is like so happy. So I guess like in Spanish, you'd be like euforia, like just total. Um, like, for example, if you were proposing to your girlfriend, like, if someone was proposing to their girlfriend and they said yes, you'd be like, oh, like, I'm on cloud nine right now. I have no idea where it comes from, why the ninth cloud uh, is means you're happy, but you might hear it sometimes, because that's another one that's like, it's just a common phrase that people learn. They might not always use it, but to be on cloud nine is like, you're just, everything is going right. You just couldn't be happier. So it's another good one. And again, like, these are ones that if you were to use them with your wife, like, she would know you're talking about. So if you're trying to mix things up, you can always sprinkle it in.
Okay.
Um, all right, and then the third one I wrote here is another expression. And maybe you've used this before, like, so maybe you might know this one really, really quickly. But for Pete's sake, have you ever heard "for Pete's sake"?
Yeah, for Pete's sake, I think the expression comes from the Bible, from Pete from the Bible, I think. And, it's like saying for Christ's sake, or, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that, I don't know, I can't believe that Bolivia won the World Cup. It's like, for you know, good for Bolivia. What I'm saying is like, it's something that is just like, you just can't believe that, it's, am I right? Or kind of?
Yeah. So you actually explained it. I think it is just like a nicer way of saying, instead of "for Christ's sake," um, for Pete's sake. I don't know who Pete is, but it, yeah. And I guess you could say it if Bolivia won the World Cup. But I usually find it's used more when you're annoyed by something. So like, say you're sick, you don't feel good, you're trying to get some sleep, and then your daughters come in and they're like, "We need more fluff," like that. You'd be like, "Oh, for Pete's sake, like I don't need this right now." Like it's something. It's kind of like I'm trying to think if there's a good Argentine. Was it like hinchar las pelotas, like something like annoying you, you'd be like, "Oh, for Pete's sake, like no me hinches las pelotas," like just something like that, like stop bothering me for Pete's sake. So that's another good one. But again, my sister said something the other day. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's so weird. Why do we say that for Pete's sake? Like who's Pete?" But yeah, so I'd say you got that one.
But is Pete the guy from the Bible?
Pete as in
Peter. Peter, is that the guy from the Bible?
I don't know if that's where "for Pete's sake" comes from, but obviously Peter is someone in the Bible. I've never heard that that's where it comes from. I think it's just sort of a funny name to put in there, like "for Pete's sake,"
Like saying for Ben's sake, kind of.
right?
Like,
but it's just the expression is for Pete's sake. So it's kind of like what you do with you're so full of fluff instead of cursing.
Right.
It's just a more polite way to say it.
for James Bald's sake.
Yeah, for James Bald's sake. But I think those are the three that I had written down. So maybe not the most exciting three, but I thought they were good. So now you have to use all three of them in one sentence.
Okay.
That would be bedlam.
Good. Well, that's good.
But, I don't know if you have any more questions.
No. I don't have any more questions.
All right, Ben.
Right.
I do have to get going, but I've missed you. I'm glad we were able to talk again, and I
Miss you.
look forward to talking soon. And I like the pelado look. I think pelado. I think it's
Like the peladez, la peladez.
there. It is.
La peladez. I now I feel like your grandfather. But it's okay. It'll grow.
Oh, that was the last thing I was gonna say. I saw a video where they were talking about it was talking about the different names for Santa Claus in different Spanish speaking countries. So like there was a guy with Argentina and like Papa Noel, and and Mexico was like, "Oh, Santa Claus, hey, Papa Noel," or whatever. They were doing all this stuff, and then they're like, "What about you, Chile? Like, how do you say it?" And he just turns around, he's like, "Viejito Pascuero." Like, whoa, why is that? Why is that? That was in Chile. I guess it's not Papa Noel or Santa Claus, unless it was sarcastic and I just didn't understand it. But Viejito Pascuero.
Pascuero. Wow, I didn't know that one. San Nicolás.
San Nicolás. Yeah, if you Google Viejito Pascuero, Papa Noel comes up. So I guess that is a way to say it. Viejito Pascuero.
Huh.
Anyway, there you go.
Cool.
You always teach me things in English, and I'm teaching you something in Spanish. So
That's really I appreciate it.
All right.
Yes. Well,
Nos vemos. Un abrazo.
I miss you too, brother. And until the next episode, this was episode 17. So I'll see you for episode 18.
Bueno.
In a couple. Okay.
Hasta luego. Chao.
Hello, querido. See ya. See ya.